So how to find a good contractor? Obviously, online is probably the most easiest way to find a contractor. From that process, it's all about the bids. So if you're doing business, obviously you always want to get multiple bids from multiple people, because if you get a $10,000 bid to redo your whole $50,000 house, you're like, wait a minute, this sounds a little too good to be true. Or if you get a $100,000 bid to redo your $50,000 house, obviously we're way off. So the way to find a good contractor is getting multiple bids from multiple contractors, probably throwing out your lowest and probably throwing out your highest, and then doing research on the one in the middle, or the ones that are closest to the ones in the middle. You want to find out, hey, are they reputable? B, do they have at least 3 previous clients that you can call and check on? This is imperative. I cannot tell you guys, just don't listen to the first person that comes in your house and promises you the world and promises you a timeline that you think is the best, you think the money's good, and then wants a 50% deposit. Do your homework first. It's gonna save you from headaches on the back end. We've done it, we've been there, we've seen it. Multiple people getting in situations where they just can't get out of because they went with the wrong contractor. They didn't get multiple bids and they didn't back them up with at least 3 previous clients that they could get on the phone and say, hey, I really loved Rick, I really loved Billy, I really loved Joe. Okay, when you're looking at fixing up your house, you want to focus at what you're trying to accomplish. A, are you going to be there for the next 5 years? B, are you just trying to sell it? C, you want to kind of take the emotion out of it. So materials are the biggest thing. You can go to the tile store, you can find something that looks beautiful for $5 a foot. You could go to the tile store, you can find something that looks somewhat beautiful, a little off, all the way down to 99 cents a foot. So that is massive savings. So you're always going to want to look at materials. You don't have to necessarily get the best, just something that looks clean. If you're trying to sell your house and you just want to give it a refresh, you just want to go with basic materials that looks clean, looks fresh, looks neutral, and is welcoming to a potential buyer. If you're looking to stay in your property, then that's on you. If you want to spend the $5 a foot and that's in your budget, then by all means, that's going to come out beautiful as well. When you're attempting to do the work yourself, a couple things you could do. You go with the general contractor that's going to oversee the whole entire project. Just keep in mind, the more people involved in a transaction, the more money that's going to cost. What I would recommend doing is getting bids from 3 granite companies. A granite company is going to come out and say, here's your options. A trick to granite, when you have just a cookie cutter kitchen, you don't have a full-blown custom kitchen, you just have a track house or a kitchen with no big island or any customization, go with the prefab granite. A prefab granite is very inexpensive, very easy to install, and it's going to save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. When you go to paint, I wouldn't necessarily hire a general contractor to go hire out a painter. Contact a painting company. They're going to come out, they're going to give you a quote, and again, go back to my previous message of quotes, bids, get multiple quotes from multiple companies. At the end of the day, you're going to paint your house 2 tones. You're going to paint your baseboards one color, your walls one color. It's a simple process. How long it's going to take to get your house fixed up basically comes down to you. If you want to put your full time and energy, it's probably going to take about anywhere from a week to 10 days to get all your bids and your quotes in. From there, it might take another 3 days to follow up with the references to see who you're going to pick. And then once you pick that person, as long as you've done your homework right on the front side, they should be able to get the work done fairly quickly and be able to promise the dates that they put in place. But if you want to take a hands-off approach and let me call this guy or let me call that guy, or you go with the first contractor and you didn't do the work, he could drag the job out for a couple months, and which is costing you time and money, which should have only been able to be done in 2 weeks. Okay, when you find yourself in a situation where you had a contractor come do the work, you gave him a 50% deposit, he only finished half of the job, he's not answering your phone, he's not coming back. At that point, what you want to do is you want to stop. Just stop, say, listen, I'm going to go finish this on my own. You have a couple recourse routes. You can go to the contractor's board, turn in his name, information, what happened. There's some recourse that way. But then at that point, you would probably want to go back to getting multiple bids again do the work on the front side so you did not get stuck in the middle. But if you do get stuck in the middle, I would stop, I wouldn't drag it out because time is money. It's just gonna cost you more time, more money. Get on the phone, find somebody else that could come in and get the job done. We had concrete work being done at one of our projects. We hired a company that we thought was licensed. Come to find out they were unlicensed. They did all our concrete work, and they were a great company. They did great work. However, the city was redoing the gas lines out front of our property. There was a lip in the sidewalk in our driveway. So we still can't believe this happened. One of the concrete guys jackhammered out the sidewalk right in front of our property. Well, if you guys don't know, this sidewalk belongs to the city or county you live in. It does not belong to you. The city, the county workers were out front of the property. They saw this being happen. They called the contractors board. They came over. It turned into a big headache for us. I personally had to go down to the contractors board, show all this stuff that happened. We then had to pay out of our own pocket to fix the sidewalk when all this could have been avoided by not even jackhammering the work. To minimize risk when paying a contractor, you're gonna want an ironclad contract. And in that contract, you wanna look for scope of work, what the work's gonna include, not just paint a house. You wanna break that all the way down to material, colors, color scheme. Is that multicolor? Is that just painting my house white? You're gonna wanna make sure all that is itemized in the contract. In addition, I would avoid paying upfront money to anybody. You let them do the work. Once the work's completed, you can come physically inspect their work, then you make payment. As long as all items are met in the contract, you make payment, they're happy, you're happy, costly headaches avoided by giving money up front, regardless of their stories. Just do not buy into they need money up front to finish a minor job. Now, if it's a major job, that's a different story. If we're talking massive concrete or building a wall, something like that, then as long as you do the reference checks and they check out, it might be okay to give a little bit of a disbursement just to get the job going. But for minor remodels, I would never pay up front. Wait till the contract's put in place, wait till that contract's finished, and wait till it's done to your liking, then make payment. When you're redoing your flooring, and we're trying to calculate if this is a major or minor job, some contractors are going to go ahead and cover that material in their quote. Other contractors, we're gonna require you to go to the store and pay for the flooring up front, which is fine. If you go to the store and pay for the flooring up front, that's great because you have the flooring, you own it, and it's in your property. The work you're paying the contractor to do is simply to install it. So if he's not able to do that, no big deal. You paid for the material. The material's been delivered at your property. No harm, no foul. He moves on. You hire somebody else that's going to finish the job. Versus you gave him a 50% deposit. He didn't get the material. You don't have material for the next guy to finish. He's left. He's not answering your calls. Here you are, out half your deposit, and you didn't pay your material. So going to pay for your material up front is not bad as long as you go to the store, you have your credit card receipt, and you did it direct with the store. I would probably encourage that route because then you have the material and you're holding it. Now it's just a simple labor contract with somebody to install it. When dealing with insurance remodels, if your house flooded, if your house burned, vandalized, insurance will cover remodel costs. However, they're not going to allow you to come back with X amount of marble tile or $10,000 worth of granite. What we've seen is they're going to give you a budget. That budget's then going to be allocated for you to go down, and usually they give you kind of an option. Is it tile A, tile B, tile C? You pick one of the three. That's going to go back into your property. Granite. If it was in a fire, the granite cracked. If it was vandalized, the granite cracked. Or if they had to rip out for a flood, they had to pull the cabinets out, which pulled out your countertops. Again, they're going to give you a budget, and the person that's going to be doing the contracting bidding or the insurance bidding for the contractor, more than likely what we've seen is it's always a kind of a three option what's going to go back in. So if your bathrooms did flood, what I would recommend, and you had carpet, never go back in with carpet. Never go into a bathroom or a wet area with laminate. Always go back in with ceramic tile. Even if it's a cheap tile, it's just going to save you from time and time again of having to replace over it getting wet again, over it flooding again, what have you. When you start a renovation, you're dealing with a contractor, you're always going to want to make sure they're licensed. They're going to have a license number. That license number is going to require them to carry a bond, a limit of bid. So, for example, when they go to remodel a house, they can only bid a certain limit. It could be 10,000, it could be 100,000. So if they're trying to bid a 100,000 job and they only have a $10,000 bid limit, that's a red flag, meaning they don't have the capability to cover insurance in case something were to go wrong during that remodel. You're always just going to want to verify bid limit, license, and bonded. If they fail to finish their work, the bond would kick in and cover that on your behalf. Always deal with a licensed contractor. Very simple, very easy to research. Just ask for the license number, and from there you can call the contractors board. You even go online and find out their bid limit. So when you're looking to redo a house, get it ready for sale, there's kind of 4 hot spots you want to focus on. Paint, flooring, kitchen, and bathrooms. Women, when they're looking at properties, the 2 hot spots they like are kitchens and bathrooms. Those are the things you want to focus on. Paint you want to keep clean. Flooring you want to keep neutral. Kitchens you just want to kind of a refresh. And master bath you want it appealing. When we purchase properties and we resell them, that's what we really focus on. We put more attention into the kitchens and the bath. The flooring, even if you just redid your carpet, but in the bathrooms and the kitchens, you went with some nice ceramic tile. It's just a fresh, clean look. That's what's going to bring buyers to your properties. That's what works for us, and we keep doing it. If you're wanting to sell your property and you don't want to do the work, you don't want to refresh your house, you don't want to make your kitchen the greatest, you just want somebody to come in and take care of that headache, WeBuyHouses.com is your solution. You fill out our web form, we're going to come over, we're going to sit down with you, we're going to go over these hotspots, then we're going to make you an offer. If you accept our offer, we're going to have your money in 10 days, and you don't have to deal with this tile situation. You don't have to deal with this kitchen situation. It's clean, it's simple, it's easy.